What's going on, friends? James the Wind here with the Alpha Red Comic Channel. Thank you for joining me. I know I'm running just a second late. Thank you for showing up, Shay, Mr. Zero for Hire, and Rod, brother Rod, is in the house. True to form. I have technical difficulties trying to put it together. I warned Shay. We just talked on the phone before I jumped on that. As I'm testing things inevitably fail. So, and it did, and I couldn't get my camera to work until like seconds before I turned it on. So here we are, 8 o'clock on a Sunday night, 8:01 to be exact, when I hit the button. And I appreciate you guys showing up. It's time to draw. So the lady of the hour. Ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-ba. So lots of people are talking about Marvel Rivals and the way that the heroes are presented in this video game. I'm not a big game guy. I'm not a big Fantastic Four guy, but people are talking about it, and there's good reason. The art looks phenomenal. If I was a video game player, it looks like a good, cool video game to, I don't know what they call it. It's not first person because you can see, you're following their rear ends around. Maybe there's a mode that you can kind of change that, but I don't do video games just because my hand-eye coordination is not as good as people would assume because I draw. But here we are, and I'm flipped through some of these pictures, and it'll be good reason. What's going on, brother Phong? Chúc mừng năm mới. That means Happy New Year in Vietnamese, and brother Phong is just wishing me a Happy New Year. That was on the 29th. The Year of the Snake, guys. Year of the Snake. So this is the lady of the hour. She is making heads spin, and she is the talk of the town. And we are going to draw her. I'm going to keep this handy so that I can get some reference. She is in a new outfit, and I'm convinced that this outfit was made by AI. And Brother Zero for Hire can tell me if he agrees or disagrees. He is the AI expert. But here she is, and we're going to be drawing her tonight. And if you're new to the channel, you don't know who Alpha Red is or why I call this the Alpha Red Comic Channel, I have created a comic book character called Alpha Red. That's this guy up here in the front. And this happens to be what I just finished up this week. And I will be showing you a little bit more about him. But that is why the Alpha Red Comic Channel is called the Alpha Red Comic Channel. So I drew him in pencil, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. If you were watching, the beginning of last week, I finished the inking on it. And these are the final colors by Mr. Federico. Sorry, I'm blanking on your name, Federico, if you're watching. But he did a bang-up job, and this is an homage cover that is going to help launch the Alpha Red #6 on Starcross Comics. So Starcross Comics, I did the crowdfunder for it in October. Just finished sending out all the backer rewards, and so I had some homage covers for those campaigns. I did a campaign on Kickstarter, on Fund My Comic, and Indiegogo. They each had their own homage covers, and I regret doing that now because I really liked all of the homage covers, but I made them limited to the campaign, and so I can't offer an homage cover. I couldn't offer an homage cover using any of those three just because I promised that I wouldn't. And I don't know who takes that seriously or not, but I wanted to keep it serious. So what I wanted to do was create an evergreen homage cover, one that would not be limited. I call it evergreen. That confused some people, but it's just my word. It just means it'll be available forever. And so this is the homage cover that I made, and it is an homage of this cover, the Savage Wolverine by Joe Madureira and Jeb Wells, I think. But you can let me know how close I got. But that's it. That's what I was working on this week. But that wasn't it. Because I'm a busy beaver. I gotta make things happen. for Alpha Red number 7. So I'm creating trading cards for Alpha Red number 7. And this was the pencils. Just finished up the inks last night on Alpha Red. Then our buddy, Crazy John. Crazy John is going to play a bigger role in Alpha Red number 7. So he's going to be helping out. And he likes the Uzis. He likes the Uzis. Yeah, so Zero for Hire agrees that it's possible that Sue Storm's outfit was generated by AI. And I'll tell you why in a little bit, why I think so in a little bit. But this is the new villain for issue number 7. Her name is The Searcher. The Searcher. Just finished her inks last night as well. I've been chipping away at this, at the inks. I do this like every night. I try to spend at least an hour on Alpha Red doing some drawings. It typically spills into like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if I stay up too late. But I stayed up too late last night. Well, actually, no. Yesterday I was sick as a dog, and managed to squeeze out some of this while I was sitting in my drawing chair drawing. And this is our buddy Wingman. And if you don't know who Wingman is, and it's only because you haven't picked up Alpha Red number 6. So go out and pick up Alpha Red number 6. It will be for pre-order. It will be available for pre-order starting Tuesday. And we'll pre-order up until I'll start shipping it out March 1st to anybody who pre-orders. And that's just to build up anybody who wants the homage cover. So, and that also gives a little bit of distance between people who backed me on the Kickstarter and Fund My Comic Indiegogo, so that they feel like they got it 2 months before, 2 or 3 months before everybody else gets it. So, and this is Zed Keel. He is a fallen angel that we will get to know a little bit better. But so when I go to here, I'll go to my drawing board here. So this is the pose that I'm going to use, and I don't want you to think that it was my pose completely, because I'm trying to bring back the femininity, all the things that people like about the Marvel Rivals video game is that the characters look like the characters, or at least look like a derivative of the original characters. And I'm not a Fantastic Four fan, and I'm not a video game fan, so forgive me if I feel like I'm grifting. But this was a request by Jagron 2. What's going on, Ernest? Welcome to the Sunday night draw stream. So what I did was, what I want to do with Alpha Red number 7 and moving forward is just to kind of remind myself to make sure that the characters, the masculine characters are masculine, the female characters are feminine, and what I'm doing to make sure that I have a better let's do this, yeah. To make sure that I'm doing it a little better, I'm taking influences from Joe Madureira for the men, because he makes the guys like this is a Joe Madureira pose. All of these, I believe. Oop, let me hit this button here. All of these, yep, this was a Joe Madureira pose. This was a J. Scott Campbell woman. That's who I'm using as the artist for female anatomy and things. And I'll show you the influence that I have for this week's pose. So that was also a Joe Madureira pose, and this I can picture. This was a silhouette of Wolverine. I believe this might have been also a Wolverine. I've got a lot of Joe Madureira Wolverine pictures on my computer, and it's easy to search. And this was a video game design that Joe Madureira did. And this one, I'm not sure exactly what character that was supposed to be, but that's also Joe Madureira. But this is the pose. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Can I do this on the fly and show you? So this is the character. Let me flip-flop the screen here so that I can, there you go. So this is the pose that I'm using to, that's how I came up with this. So I didn't trace, I didn't whatever, but I'm using that pose. Can I jump over? There you go. As the influence of the female form, because it's attractive, and we should make our women in comics attractive again. Not sexualizing them, over-sexualizing them, for sure, but not being afraid to draw them feminine. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? What's going on, love? Happy New Year, brother. Did your school districts, is that a federal holiday now? Because I found out that the kids around my, in my school district had off for Lunar New Year. I was like, get out of town. Do they ever go to school? As a homeschool parent here, our kids almost never have off. I promise you. They have like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off, and then they're back at it. You know, maybe around there we might squeeze in an extra day or two. But Lunar New Year, I mean, come on, we're Americans here. Even I, as an American, as an Asian American who celebrates Lunar New Year, thinks it's strange that you would have off for school on Lunar New Year. Are you with me? Are you with me, guys? Does that seem strange to you? I'm going to flip over. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Nope, you guys didn't have off. Well, in New York, I know for a fact that in New York, the school districts had off for Lunar New Year. Crazy. So I do have that reference up. I don't know if you guys agree. Do you guys agree with the female thing, the masculine, the female? Are we missing that in comics? Is that a cause for people to move away from comics? Am I just crazy? I gotta make her better looking. She's looking kind of not J. Scott Campbell girl pretty. She looks like maybe she's been around the block a little, if I kept her that way. Let's see. What is MWICAA 0? What is that? Can you unpack the acronym? Or is that the year? Is that Roman numerals? So that's 1,000. What's a W? 1,000. Is that multiplies the W? I mean, it multiplies the M. That's some smart stuff. Zero for Hire's got a big brain. I know for a fact. If you guys aren't following him on Substack, you need to check out his Substack. And oh yeah, I was gonna go back and show you parts of the Sue Storm costume that kind of make it appear to me that the artwork that we see is either artificially AI generated, or at least the design for the costume was, because the design is kind of, it's not symmetrically whatever. It's hard to describe, and maybe it's because my brain doesn't think that way when I am designing a character, because I want it to be kind of symmetrical. I want it to be simple lines of beauty, And then you come to this costume of Sue Storm, and it's a little kind of like, it's a hodgepodge of elements. And I think that's the best way to describe it. And that also describes AI generated stuff, where obviously it's a hodgepodge of artwork that that's posted on the internet. And so we gotta get the face right, guys, because if she's not pretty, it blows the whole thing out of the water. Let's see. Ernest says, I think in general they need to make comic women beautiful again. Amen to that, brother. They are definitely making them more masculine, less attractive. Yep. I agree. And so I was thinking, as I'm creating a female villain for issue number 7, I wanted a return to that beauty. And let me see. I'm going to hop over. I have to look at my references for Sue Storm here. So excuse me while I flip back. There we go. That's why it doesn't look right. Like, it's too much forehead. Much less forehead. So, Locke, are you have you done any of the Marvel Rivals for your sketch cards? I know Locke, he does sketch cards and sketch covers. So if you guys are looking for a sketch cover artist, sketch cards, check out Locke's YouTube. I think you still have YouTube, right? You get on there, you can go ahead and pimp out your video, your YouTube channel. I'm happy to promote Brother from Another Mother. I am. When I look over here, it's the pictures of Sue Storm that I showed you guys earlier. I'm trying to get the costume, and I don't know if you guys want to see like what I'm talking about. Is that the button I want to hit? No, let's hit this button. And then I want to go in here. Kaboomski. All right, so as I'm looking at her costume, like the way that this line cuts across the chest and down is not something that I typically see. And then like this white spot is kind of odd to me. Can you guys see the, I guess you can't see the little hand that's moving around, but like the little triangle on her chest right there. Oh, can you see it? All right. It's a little laggy. There you go. Okay. So you guys can't see the hand. But that's what makes me think that it's AI. This kind of design here, where it doesn't follow the muscle at all. That's kind of weird to me. And then like this midriff here, this midsection where it has like, doesn't follow the ribs. It doesn't follow any kind of anatomy to kind of like accent things. It's just like, it feels random. And that's what causes me to think that a lot of this design is not human designed. I mean, it looks cool, and I know if you guys have ever played with AI, it can pump out some cool stuff. and see how the color, how it just cuts. Everything cuts weird on the suit. This is more symmetrical, so that's normal. So it does a good job sometimes, but some of those aspects of it make it look weird to me, and you guys can weigh in on whether or not those are valid reasons. Like see, like why would it cut across like part of her chest here, and it like scoops up in here, and then the 4, maybe because the 4, and then the 4 cuts across both breasts. It's just an odd design. I mean, obviously it's appealing, but if you've tried some AI generated art, it can look very appealing. It just is, people have their reasons for hating AI, valid reasons, where it steals a lot of stuff from a lot of artists. But if you're not making money off of it or whatever, I don't see a problem. And if you're doing it to speed up your own artwork as an artist, and not just using the AI as the product that you're selling, I don't see a huge problem with that. Maybe you guys disagree. Speak up or forever hold your peace. I know Zero likes to talk about this on his Substack. What's going on, Monumental Comics? Welcome to the draw stream. Let me see what. Let me see. Love says no. Busy with Topps Star Wars. I forgot about that. I forgot you were working on that. I saw you posting a bunch of. Maybe they are Star Wars. I'm not familiar with some of the new Star Wars, but maybe. So Monumental Comics says looked like a Robotech mix. Yeah, I can see that totally. Zero says the suit design is cool, but it doesn't appear functional. Not necessary, sir. Functionality is very secondary in our neck of the entertainment space. Zero also writes, it could be like one of those single shoulder Roman capes. Yeah, maybe that has something to do with it. Monumental Comics says, peace, it's looking good. Thank you for hanging out, Monumental Comics. Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for jumping in and weighing in. All right. So we are 25 minutes in, and I am still, like I said, as I'm looking over here, I'm just looking at the design. And that is, as I was preparing for the draw stream, and I was kind of warming up the pose here, that's what I was noticing. I was like, because I hadn't really looked at it. I knew that it was well drawn, or it was a nice design. It was good, fun to look at, but I didn't look at it with a critical eye, just because you don't really do that unless you have to draw it. So that is what I thought of. That's one of the first things I thought of as I was kind of putting the pieces together, because you put down the anatomy, and then you start putting the details in, and then as I was putting on the details, I was like, wait a second here. That was one of the things that jumped out at me. Like, it doesn't follow any of the anatomy, any of the designs of the anatomy. All right, we're gonna have to hurry up if I want to finish this here during this hour. All right, let's flip that picture. Okay, there's some design elements that are not darker. They're just weird. So like when I go to design something, I feel like symmetrical looks best. So maybe it's just a limitation of my taste. And then I attribute that to it being AI generated. I just don't feel like it's supernatural. Not supernatural, but like very natural in my mind. Let me see if anybody's weighing in. Fong says, when it comes to all these fantasy costumes, my question is, where does Reed Richards get all the unstable particles? Unlimited, brother. It is unlimited. It is. He will find a way. If he needs it, he will find the new particles. Yeah. So I'm not a huge Fantastic Four guy, and I'm open to it. I guess when I found comics, it was all Spider-Man and X-Men, because that's, if you've been on the channel before, I'm heavily influenced by the guys who started Image. Just happened to be when I found comics. And when you're that young, you just assume comics have been around forever and all comics have this huge, long history. But I didn't realize like a lot of those things had either just happened, a lot of the boom, the change in direction of comics becoming a little bit more mature, all were kind of just happening or had just happened with the Frank Miller stuff. And I know you guys know that I just I got reacquainted with Frank Miller's writing, and I'm loving it. And it really has kind of shaped how I am creating Alpha Red #7 with a little bit more, some more, I don't want to say thought balloons or whatever, but some more narrative balloons, because there's so much richness to the story that's added when he adds that, the word balloons. And you don't want to waste those word balloons, because you want to show the action because it's a comic book. But there's so much more that that you can find out about the character in those narrative balloons. Let me see what I'm missing here. Am I missing anything? Nope. So are you guys a fan of Fantastic Four? Do we have any Fantastic Four fans out there? Let me see. I mean, there's no doubt that this design is cool. I don't think anybody can look at it and call it boring or anything like that. It's definitely, it's unique. It's got some kind of appeal to it. But as an artist, as I'm going through and I'm looking at some of the cuts in it, like this stuff is cool. Like this looks normal and natural and cool. I'm looking at how there's design elements that connect the knee area to the ankle area. That's very pleasing and flows, and it's graceful, and it's just all the typical design elements that I would imagine goes into like a human designing it. Whereas when I see a lot of AI generated artwork, I see that it has a mix of a lot of different elements. All right, guys, I think we're ready for inks. It's just really the costume elements that I don't want to mess up too much on. And at the same time, there are elements of like, you want to make her good looking. For sure, for sure, for sure. I thought I pulled out enough inking stuff, but I forgot the small pens. So for the face, I typically use a smaller. These are Pigma Micron pens. If you can't see, my oily hands rub the writing off. But you gotta keep the face as attractive as you can. Wait, this one might be a reason why he's all blanked out on the side. I must use that 005 a lot more than I think, which I don't think I use it very much at all, but he wasn't producing anything. All right. Here we go. So the next size up is an 01. Oops, let me jump over here. Take a look at a J. Scott Campbell face. And it's just a sketch that I'm using, so there's not much detail. There's not much to what I'm using. And I can draw women. But it's like there's something about how the guys who are masters at it do it, and there's no other way to capture what they have until you try it for yourself and you say, that's the secret ingredient. I don't know. Locke, do you find that in your when you're drawing? I don't know if you use influences quite like I'm using J. Scott Campbell's sketch here as direct as I can, and it's obviously not coming out exact because I think it's not quite as attractive as I think that's supposed to be Red Sonja. I thought it was Fairchild at first from Gen 13, but what's going on, Jagron? Lane, I apologize. I did see you over on Thinking Critical. I saw Wes read your super chat, and he like fired off your name. I was like, wait, that's Jagron. And he said it like, pow, kapow. I was like, man, I got to get better at reading. But yes, sir, I took your suggestion here, Jagron, and we're doing a Miss Sue Storm. So yeah. Oh yeah, no, Wes and his channel. Yeah. Well, I was gonna suggest her Malice Skin. Which one's the Malice Skin? I'm not super familiar with the game. I just know that it is turning heads because of the designs. So maybe that's something we can do for another time. Probably not next week, unless this one blows up and a lot of people want to see Sue Storm being drawn. I don't know what's going on with these pens here. They're usually pretty juicy. Well, juicy enough. They feel like they're dying on me as I'm drawing. There is her Malice Skin. There was a darker version, and I just thought somebody was kind of messing with it. Messing with the design. It's like almost opposite. Was it opposite of the white design? jog around. I should have done a little bit more research, I guess. I just put in Marvel Rivals Sue Storm and saw a bunch of the same picture. And it was the same picture as what I had been seeing from folks who were talking about it online. Let me see. Oh, did I miss? Oh, okay. Fong says, since you're as old as I am, do you remember when Spider-Man, Wolverine, Hulk, and Ghost Rider took over the Fantastic Four? I do. I remember picking it up. It was Art Adams drew that, if I'm not mistaken. I wasn't a huge Art Adams fan. I mean, was it? Yeah, Arthur Adams. But I wasn't a fan. Like, maybe I didn't have enough money to collect Art Adams stuff. I loved Art Adams stuff. I followed him over to Gorilla and the Gorilla thing. Oh boy, I think my hand. Yep, I froze it. Hang on. There you go. Stupid camera. Can't talk with my hands or else it messes with the camera. But yeah, Art Adams. Yeah, I don't know. Is that something I'm missing? Am I missing? Is that something I should pick up? Is the Art Adams version of the Fantastic Four when they try to make it a Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, and Ghost Rider was hot in the 90s. I remember Mark Teixeira was made it super hot. Jogron also says Malice in the comics was her dark personality in the comics. Okay. It's a story at the same time in the 90s when she had the 4-boob window outfit. Oh, yeah, so it was like a high white sleeves on her arms, and then was it the thigh-high white boot things, and then like the window, the boob window. I think I kind of remember that. Story. Her Malice skin is a super sexy design. Okay. We'll take a look at that. We'll have to check that out. That Malice skin kind of looks like magic. Ah, okay. Yeah, so J. Scott Campbell did a bunch of magic covers or something. That's all he does now, are covers, I believe. So when I was researching, like I have a reference folder created for this next issue for my new villain, the Searcher. And boy, man, this is, I don't know if it's the paper. Is the paper doing something with my inks here? They just don't want to adhere to the paper. Maybe. So after I do this, I'm going to switch to the brush pens here. Hopefully the brush pens will have more sticking power. Yeah. She has red eyes and stuff in the Rivals outfit. Okay. The old comics outfit from FF number 280. Looks like a weird dominatrix outfit. I gotcha. I don't remember the outfit. I'll have to check that out. Maybe put that on the list. Remember the boob window costume from the 90s. Supposedly it was supposed to get Reed's attention, which didn't work. That Reed Richards. You gotta wonder about him sometime. He's all about his work. He's always thinking. Like, how did he get Sue Storm anyway? Can we be honest? Like a guy with like white hair on his temples gets a blonde beauty. Although I've seen very attractive women with less than attractive men. You just never know. You just never know. It was something. Too funny. Yeah. Now, I don't know if this is coming back, the old Farrah Fawcett hair. Is that making its way back? That's what that reminded me of when I was looking up references for Sue Storm. I mean, it looks cool. Like, I don't know. I liked Farrah Fawcett way back in the day. I mean, there's a reason why some of those shows and things worked. As ridiculous as they were. So I forgot that I was trying to also bring a little bit more energy to my inking by being a little less perfect, or not trying to be as perfect. So it's an old habit. So you know what they say about old habits? Let's jump over to her outfit here so that I can not mess it up. So are you guys playing Marvel Rivals? Is anybody here a video game guy besides maybe Jogron? So it cuts over here and then cuts up here. Just so unnatural. In my, like, if I had to draw it a bunch of times, and maybe video game designers don't have to think about that, because when they put the outfits on these characters, they don't have to necessarily draw them over and over again. It's just kind of part of the program. But for me, like how it cuts on the body and how it is supposed to help give the body some shape and form, not fun to draw a lot. That's how I think about it. Well, not necessarily, I guess. I mean, if you come up with a cool design, it doesn't matter, I guess. Like, Alpha Red has some elements on his outfit that is not always easy for people to remember and whatever. But this just seems like a little extra hard. What's going on, Mario? Brother Mario is in the house. Let me see. I think I missed some stuff. Yeah. So Fong says, well, Marilyn Monroe thought Albert Einstein was sexy. I did not know that. I don't think Albert Einstein was sexy, but to each their own. Jagran says, I think Sue had a miscarriage or something recently. To when it happened, if I remember correctly. Zero says, I think my favorite Sue Storm story is when Mary Jane went to talk to her because she was worried about Peter after he got the crap kicked out of him by Rhino and had to heal in a cocoon for 2 days. I didn't know that. I'm missing stuff for sure. The two of them had a conversation about how difficult it is to be a wife of a superhero. Changed my whole outlook on comics in general. Yeah, so I guess the complaint is, if you're watching, like Thinking Critical and stuff, is that they're making every spouse or whatever, they're giving them superpowers. Now, Sue already had superpowers, but Mary Jane didn't have superpowers, but then they made her Jackpot, and then and Lois Lane is now Superwoman. It's like, just leave them human. But Mario says, I don't have time to play. Okay. Oh, the video games. Okay, yeah. I apologize. I'm like, you don't have time to play. Okay. Funk says, Zero, when did that story happen? It sounds interesting and I want to read it. Yeah. Jogron, my name is Headshot. Headshot Dead Duck. When it comes to that game. So it's not an easy game. Maybe that's why people like it. They like challenging things. It's all challenging to me, so that's why I don't bother. That game. It was one of the final issues of Sensational Spider-Man. Okay, I missed when Peter and MJ were married. Yep. Zero says just before the One More Day arc. Yeah, One More Day. What's going on? Mario Funk says, yeah, that's got to be before One More Day. Jagron says, Fong, I am more a Peter hanging out with Felicia guy, so I don't miss them being married. Funk says, to each their own. Yep. So I don't know if you got the cover of the new ASM Jagron, but him and Felicia, they're getting to know each other pretty good. Let me see. All right. So this goes all the way down, this element. And then this element wraps underneath. And then there's a squiggly thing. Just for no reason. And this cuts down and cuts over just in time to cut down to be symmetrical to the other side. So those are the weird things that I'm seeing in the design. Those are the weirds. Those are the weirds. Boomski. All right. It's coming together here, I think. Oh boy, 12 more minutes. Can I do it, guys? Can I do it? 12 more minutes. So I was sick yesterday, so I didn't spend a lot of time with the wife. So I think she's going to give me a hard time if I don't come down and hang out with her after the draw stream. Last week I went a little bit over, and she was busy, so she didn't mind. Today, I believe, would be a different story. So this has to get done. It must be done. So what are you guys reading? Are you guys following Amazing Spider-Man? I hear it's going to reboot here in a couple of issues. Are you enjoying the 8 deaths of Spider-Man? In my humble opinion, it's skippable. It's okay. It's just normal. It's not bad, but not great. It's Spider-Man. If you gotta have Spider-Man, it's not too terrible. I know some people are giving it a hard time, but I've seen worse. Unfortunately. I have. So this element goes from here to here. And then there's a circular element here. And there's another design element coming through here. Look out, coming through. And then just a random dark spot right there. So it is what it is. We just draw what they design. We gotta trust them. They're paying somebody big bucks. Or the AI. To design it for them. Let's see what I'm missing here. Yep. Jogron says, yeah, I think they're setting them up possibly when the new #1 is going to happen in April, but I thought they said his current girlfriend, Shay, would be in that. I hate 8 deaths of Spider-Man story arc so far. It is confusing, but it's just like, all right, you can't think too much about it. It's one of those stories I don't think you can think too much about it. And I don't know. I don't know. Should they end it on a bigger epic note, knowing that they're gonna reboot the thing? Who knows? I don't know. Like it's in my budget, so I just pick it up because I gotta have some Spider-Man. And the artist, like, what, I know it's not always Ed McGuinness, but the other guy is like a mix of Ed McGuinness and John Romita Jr. and somehow it works. Like their styles are so different, but somehow he like combines them enough that that is good. The storytelling leaves a little bit to be desired because it can be very confusing, but the faces aren't bad. The poses aren't bad. Just the storytelling, and that's important too. That's very important too. Let's see. I'm tired already of Peter being so nihilistic. Yeah. Sensational Spider-Man Volume 1, number 32, 1998. Wow. Hickman Wolverine mostly for Capullo art. Yeah, I gave up on the Wolverine Revenge after issue number 2. I had no idea what was going on. No idea. So I had to jump. I'll take an art book of that storyline, but no need for the actual reading of the story. Let me see. Jogron says it has been better than the Zeb Wells run. Yeah, I gave up on the Zeb Wells run, and I was trying to jump back, and it was so confusing. I just waited until the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man started, and I jumped back in just for Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness. So, Zero says, I'm boycotting Spider-Man until they get somebody who knows what they're doing. Maybe Joe Kelly? Maybe Joe Kelly for you, Zero? I stopped reading at Spider-Man number 30 from Wells' run. Yeah. I don't even know if I lasted to 30. It was into the whatever the gang war stuff was, and it started, and it just kept getting dumber and dumber. I jumped off. I don't know if I lasted to 30. Zero says, I do like that Wolverine Revenge. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know how you miss with Hickman and Capullo, but I don't know when it's supposed to be set. That's my biggest thing. Like, it has no stakes, so I'm out. And then he kept getting older, and I think it was the Colossus thing turned me off. Like, why is Colossus like bad? I don't know. I like Colossus. Why is he a bad Russian guy? Yeah, Funk says, I'm trying to catch up on comics. I picked up Flash Gordon and Space Ghost based on the recommendation from Wes's channel. Yeah, no, I'm close. They're getting me close to picking up Space Ghost and Flash Gordon. So Jogron says, I will say Green Lantern is firing on all cylinders. That is also another recommendation from Thinking Critical that has almost gotten me. And I did pick up at a sale at my local comic shop. Everything was $1 in a certain box, and I found one issue of Jeremy Adams' Green Lantern run, and it was good. And it was just a one story thing, and there was enough in there that it was exciting and well drawn. So maybe on the Green Lantern. What do you think about what is happening to Neil Gaiman? That's bad news. That's bad news. I mean, if you're guilty, you're guilty. I don't know. It sounds creepy. I don't even want to know about all that stuff. When they were covering that, when Wes was covering that, when everybody was covering that, and they were reading from that article, it was just like, I had to turn it off halfway through. I'm like, there's too many details. I think there were a couple of people who were just kind of reading through, and I was like, just like I was thinking about the girl, like, get out of there. Like, why do you keep coming back? But some people are mentally damaged. I don't know why you would leave yourself in that situation and keep coming back. Let me see. Zero says Wolverine Revenge is a weird story because it's an Elseworld story. Yeah, I mean, I get that those stories work sometimes, and maybe I'm just not an Elseworlds guy. I think Elseworlds stuff works better in DC. I'm more apt to accept them in DC for whatever reason. I don't I can't say that it makes sense, but it is what it is. Word story, Gang War. That's it. Was after issue 30. Okay, so maybe I did stick around till issue 30. Mike Johnson says it made me. Is it me or does Sue have hair from the 1970s? That's what I thought. Look, I'll pop over. Let me see if do I still have it up? Yep, that's the new design. That's the new design. There, Mike. So that's what I'm using. Oop. So I thought she had Farrah Fawcett hair too. I'm with you. All right, let's see what I can do in 3 or so minutes. Let's see if we can't get that energy up because the time is short. This is where all that practice comes in, right, guys? If you're an artist out there, when the time crunch comes, you're like, you gotta let it go on autopilot and hope for the best. 3-minute warning. 2-minute warning. But yeah, no, I like the outfit. Just elements of it that say to me, AI might have had a hand in designing it. That's all. For better or for worse. There are artists that are designing it and moving it around or whatever. It just 'tis what it is. I know people have their strong opinions about it. But people are going to use it. People are going to use the AI stuff. And you have a choice to buy into it or not. If you think it's stealing money from creators, then you don't buy the product. That's all we can do. I mean, we can speak out about it if it's egregious and you know that people are losing jobs because of it. But I don't think it's going anywhere, unfortunately. Okay. The design element goes back there. This scoops in here. I don't know if you guys are artists who go to conventions, but you're always trying to squeeze in as many commissions as you can. And I always over commit because you need that money. That table don't come for free. Actually, sometimes the table comes for free. So you don't feel as much pressure to make the money back. But then everybody starts packing up. I'm like, oh no, I took on too many commissions. Now I'm going to be stuck here forever. And then your ink pen goes on overdrive. Must get done. Sometimes they turn out fine. Sometimes that's the best. That's the best one. I remember a Spider-Man that I drew. Spider-Man swinging with Mary Jane, and I'll try to have that ready for you next week if I can remember. It's one of my favorite pictures, and I did that. I felt like I was rushing it, and it turned out so good. And the guy came up, he's like, "Wow, that's awesome," and I agree. Now, there are some bad ones. I'm like, ooh, I really owe you another one. But when they're happy, I'm happy. They're not always happy. I've had customers from conventions email me after the convention and said, hey, I didn't want to say anything at the convention, but I didn't like the picture. This only happened once. And I felt very embarrassed, actually. But obviously, I redrew it for him. He was willing to have me redraw another one. And I did a really good job on it, I thought. And it has become one of my most popular prints of Batgirl. So, all right. I'm going to spend just a little bit more time. I know that I said I was going to stop, but we'll give it another 3 minutes, guys. 3 minutes. Because we're so close. We're so close. We're so close. Because I want to add the contrast. Because that's what makes everything pop. Like, you can outline the pictures, and this is where inking is an art form. Because guys who are just tracing are not doing the art any service. It's really like what people see. And if you're just phoning it in, if you're just tracing and you're putting it all on the penciler, then bro, you just don't. You should be an artist. If you're an inker, you should be an artist too. And you should be looking at elevating the final product there. Keep that there, make that element. It's coming together, guys. It's coming together. So guys, Alpha Red number 6 is going to be available for pre-order. That's the same issue that I crowdfunded in October. And I just was able to mail all of those rewards out this week. And so it will be available for pre-order on starcrosscomics.com starting on Tuesday. And it comes with its own homage cover variant. This is the final variant. I know I went kind of crazy with the variants during the campaign, but they were limited to the campaigns, and I regret doing that. I don't know if you're jumping in late, and if you're jumping in late, and if you haven't hit that like or subscribe button and you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It helps the algorithms share it out. It encourages the algorithms to share it out. All right, guys. So if you go to starcrosscomics.com on Tuesday, you should see this thing right here. This is the homage cover for Savage Wolverine number 6. I used that as the homage cover, and that will be the pre-sale for Alpha Red number 6 on Starcross Comics. That just gives some distance between the backers who backed it all the way back in October. They're getting it for the first time here in the past week or two, and so I want them to feel like they had it that much farther before normal people who couldn't support me on the Kickstarter and Fund My Comic and Indiegogo. And so they have the opportunity to just pick up Alpha Red number 6, or they can get their own new evergreen, always available homage cover of Savage Wolverine number 6. But that is going to be it, guys. I will put this up for sale on my Etsy store I think it's James Q Artist at .etsy.com. I believe that's the link. But that'll be over there. I just I'm grateful that you guys spent an hour with me on a Sunday night to close out your weekend and prepare yourself for the coming week. So as always, guys, I do this every week on Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern. Join me again next week. Until then, grace and peace. Hitting the outro.
From the shadows he rises with courage in his heart, a beacon of hope. He's ready to start with faith as his armor and a fire in his soul. Alpha Red stands tall, fulfilling his role. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red. Red. In a world full of chaos, where evil may lurk, he fights for the righteous, his mission and work. Guided by God, with strength from above, he battles the darkness with unyielding love. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red. Alpha Red. When the night seems too long and hope seems so far, look to the skies, you'll see his bright star. With a prayer and a promise, he faces the fight. Alpha Red shines through, the beacon of light. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red. So stand tall with courage, let your faith lead the way. With Alpha Red beside us, we'll see a brighter day. For evil may tremble, but never forget, the world is protected by our hero, Alpha Red. Alpha Red. Alpha Red.